Thanks for the support as a channel member, Jack Gay. No, I agree. It'd be fantastic if we could make it through to the Greek Cup final. The only problem is Olympiakos in the semi-final. And as you all know, as well as I do, because I'm sure we all know you agonise over these stats all day and all night. So as you all know, we've now played Olympiakos 9 times since we've been here and only beaten them once. So the chances of us getting past them are fairly slim. They're problematic in all competitions. Hello and welcome to part 33 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the Greek Cup semi-final against Olympiakos and then a football match against who? We do not know, because somehow, despite us finishing our league campaign on the 26th of February, it's still going on. I don't know how this team's still not finished playing. Specifically, Olympiakos, Ike, Paok, Larissa, they all still need to play. So we're waiting for them to do that before we know. I mean, we already know who the 6 are going to be, but the fixture list isn't out yet for the Champions Group. So we'll just have to wait and see. I guess Olympiakos have already pretty much got the league wrapped up, though. So it'd be nice if today we could steal the cup from them and at least... if we can get past this lot, we'll win the cup. We'll get our first piece of silverware in this series. So that's got to be the goal. But like I said before, we don't beat this lot very often. In fact, if we go to the... What button can I press to get back to the preview, which I've already seen? Preview. So, yeah, we've played them 9 times now. We beat them once, which was in that fantastic run we had in the Champions Group last year. 3 draws, 5 defeats, and we're without Ryan Lawson. So, definitely has its challenges. This is the team we're putting out there to try and get past them for only the second time of the series. We've got Branoli in goal, a back four of Giannoutsos, Kios, Svanas and Kalapitas, Lebrou at the base of the midfield, Duffy and Slattery ahead of him, and then Jura and Marola supporting Damien up front. Marola is having a lot of fun playing out wide. So that's where he's kind of playing now. You can see I've also been playing a 4-2-4 and trying a diamond as well. But Marola's still scoring goals, still our top scorer. And if I was able to at the moment, I can. Oh well, let's just offer him a contract. Can we do that to anybody else? No. Why? Why can we offer Marola the extension now, but can't offer it to anyone else? But we will absolutely offer the extension to Marola because he's been fantastic. So definitely want him part of the squad next year, whether Damien's here or not. Let's get into the game and let's hope for a miracle. Let's pray for a miracle, because you never know what might happen. At some point, Olympiakos might stop taking us seriously. They are still in Europe. They are obviously trying to win the league as well, although they've pretty much already got that wrapped up, so they can kind of take their eye off that for a game or two and not worry about us catching them there. But it would be nice if we could just catch them on a bad day, us have a good day, and find a way past them, because a Greek Cup at this point in our career would go down nicely. I think it would help us attract a higher calibre of player next summer, which is what it's all about now, improving this squad year on year. Lebrou finds Slattery, who finds Jura out wide on the left, and Jura has scored. 18 minutes on the clock, and that is a fantastic goal from Jura. A 12th of the season for him. He has also been similar to Marola, and in fact, Emanuelidis as well. The front 3 that were here before Damien came back have all been superb. Now, that's to take nothing away from Damien. He's very good as well, but we certainly didn't need him back. And you could argue bringing him back has disrupted the front 3 when it probably didn't need disrupting. Because even today, Emanuelidis is having to sit on the bench, despite at one point he was our joint top scorer. Slattery's picked up a knock. We have got Singh on the bench who can come on for him if need be, but we'll keep an eye on him at the moment. Because he wasn't actually showing us having an injury. He just lost his conditioning a little bit. Marola dances past his player and has a weird attempt at a shot from range when he had Damien ahead of him and probably should have used him. Slattery seems to be recovering. It looks like he's running it off. Yeah, there you go. He suffered a twisted knee, but should be able to play through it. Although his conditioning is now falling again. So I think we might just bring him off at half-time. Let's guard against complacency. What have we got on the bench? We've got Androutsos as well. Androutsos might be a better option, actually, because Androutsos can just slot straight in as that Mazzala. So we'll do that. And Slattery can rest his poorly knee and hopefully not cause himself any further injury. Olympiacos have made a couple of changes of their own as well. They're now uninterested. This is awesome. We've potentially got them on the ropes here, although Dura has now picked up a knock. Brunoli does well to keep hold of that free kick. I am going to take Dura off because we just don't want to risk damaging these players. So Emanuelidis can come on for him. Mirola can go back over that side, and Emanuelidis can become a winger on this side. In fact, is he a former Olympiacos player? No, Panathinaikos. I knew he'd come from one of the traditional big Greek clubs, but obviously not the big one. I've just offended everyone who's an Olympiacos fan. I'm doing it based on how this save works. Olympiacos win everything all the time. Is that how it works in Greece in real life? It probably is. I don't know for sure. Why are the stats all the way over here again? And why did it take me so long to notice? Right, Olympiacos coming at us down our left-hand side. And cross comes in and they've scored, and perhaps we need to move the stats back where they were. The moment we moved them, we conceded a goal. Because they were covering the goal, perhaps they were keeping the ball out. And without Dura, I do worry for us taking another lead in this game. Damien has been absolutely absent again. It is troublesome. He's not the same player that we had this time last year. But then, as I keep emphasising, he didn't become that player until the Champions Group. So maybe he's just waiting, and he's already got 10 goals leading into it this year. So you could argue he's actually a better player because he's coming on loan at the same time. This time last year, he'd never scored for us. This year, he scored 10 goals already. So he's actually a better player than he was last year, but he just felt like more of a constant threat last year. Emanuelidis plays it across to Marola, who finds Damien Androutsos. How many attempts are we having on goal there? A little bit of luck there, and we go back ahead in this tie, which would have been lovely. We'd have liked to have gone back ahead in this tie, believe it or not. Right, Marola, I think, is the final change who's going to come off, and we're going to bring Baja on for him, who hasn't played for a little while, but he can come on and play on that left-hand side, and we're going to ask for 10 minutes of passion to finish things off, because I do feel like if we hit extra time, then Olympiacos have probably got us, because they've been down this road before, whereas for us this is uncharted territory. So let's assertively avenge what happened last time we played Olympiacos. That's what we did in the first half, and we obviously started the game so very brightly. Let's have some creativity as well. I've inspired them with my request for creativity. Emanuelidis has got Kalapitas supporting him, but decides to play it back to Sfarnas instead. Emanuelidis across to Duffy, who does well to control the ball in the centre of midfield, finds Baja, who's got Giannoutsos on a huge overlap, but has decided to come completely the opposite way, where Kalapitas is doing the same thing. His cross comes over. Damien is fouled there, and we've got a penalty, and it's going to be Androutsos to step up with the opportunity to put us back ahead in this tie. Androutsos from the penalty spot. I was literally rubbing my hands together there with glee. And it's Apollon 2, Olympiacos 1 in the 98th minute of this Greek Cup semi-final. And now we just need to not mess up from here. It's a lovely penalty from Androutsos. Lovely stuff. And we're still going at it. Kalapitas with the big throw finds Emanuelidis, who flicks on. Duffy's there. That was surely over the line. Referee. Oh, got a little bit excited there. It was offside anyway. But do we have VAR in the Greek Cup? Because that was over the line. That was over the line a million times. But apparently it doesn't matter because it was offside anyway. But we're dropping a little bit of praise. It's always risky when you're only one goal up. But against a team so much better than us, I think it's worth the risk in a situation like this, especially in such a big game. They're tiring far more than we are. And we've beaten them, boys and girls. We are into the final of the Greek Cup. That was really special, lads. Until we arrived, the greatest achievement in the history of Apollon Smyrnis was a run to the Greek Cup final I think it was in the 90s, where they lost. And that was the big thing that they talk about on the Wikipedia page. So for us to be there again now, against PAOK, with the opportunity to maybe right that wrong from the past and not only get ourselves back into Europe, which we pretty much already are, It would all have to go spectacularly wrong for Offie to make up that 20-point gap and keep us out of Europe completely. But if we can end this season back in the Champions League and with a Greek Cup under our belts, that'd be lovely. Now we just need to find out who we're playing next. Well, nearly 2 weeks have passed. We finally do have our fixture list for the rest of the season. We start things off against Ike. We've got a double header against Olympiakos coming up there because we were supposed to play them between this game and the Panathinaikos game, but it clashed with international call-ups, so that one's got moved. So that's going to be a challenging one to end the season. And, of course, the Greek Cup final to finish things off. So couple of several changes, in fact, have been made for this game against Ike. Is Giannoutsos, not Giannopoulos. Is Giannopoulos a thing? Did we ever have someone called that? It's about 5 times now. Giannoutsos. I might have to get rid of him just because I can't say his name right. I'm an idiot. But he drops out. Kalapitas goes to left back. Sfarnas comes in, or moves from centre back to right back because he was obviously covering Ryan Lawson last time. So we're back to what tends to be our normal back four now. We can still go with LeBrew, Duffy and Slattery in midfield, but Jura is still injured after picking up that knock in the last game. So Marola moves over to the left with Emanuelidis moving over to the right. And most interestingly of all, there's been talk in the media all week of Damien getting a call up to the full England squad. Which, I mean, he hasn't been called up. He's in the under-21s. But just imagine if he got called up to the England squad. In real life, Southampton barely used him in the Championship. He only scored 3 times and then went out on loan to some little Greek club. And all of a sudden he ends up in the full England squad. Can you imagine the response in the English media? It would be absolutely insane. But I was looking at the international squads, and it's only when looking at those that I realised just how young our side is, because so many of our players are getting called up to the under-21 teams. But just as a reminder of how young this team is, Lawson is 19, Kios 21, Kalapitas 21, LeBrew 20, Duffy 19, Damien 19. It's ridiculous how young these players are. Their future is very bright here at Apollon. Let's go out there and beat Ike. And I mean, this is a huge game. If we thought the last one against Olympiakos was big, this one is double big with bells on, because this is the other team who have a bit of a habit of beating us, but they're also the only team that can realistically take the second Champions League spot away from us. Olympiakos have obviously got the top one tied up, but Ike could conceivably finish above us if they have a good run. We're not necessarily going to have a run like we did in the Champions Group last year, unless Damien really does only play in March and April, in which case we'll be fine. We'll see how he gets on today. But assuming we're going to have a more normal run of form for these 10 games this year, we really need to be beating Ike to stop them moving above us. They're only 2 points behind us at the moment. We need to finish above them. Marola with the cross. Slattery's there. Damien is bobbling around in the middle, and Damien is there. And there's his 11th goal of the season. The man loves the Champions Group. It's Apollon 1, Ike 0. Wonderful stuff. Also, in other news that I forgot to mention, Marola has confirmed he will be on loan with us again next year. So his loan's been extended for another year. So Marola definitely here next season, and his Milan contract ends at the end of next season as well. He's only 22 years old himself. If he continues to develop the way he has this year, and especially if we don't get Damien back, which I'm assuming we won't, if he's on the verge of the full England squad, he ain't coming back to Apollon again next season. So Marola can be here on loan next year, and then hopefully this time next year we'll have already confirmed his permanent signing, ready to come in at the end of his Milan contract, and he can be the striker that we build around. Emanuelidis is in, but his shot goes a little bit wide. Apologies for the constant neck scratching today. I've cut my own hair again because I can't be bothered to make an appointment to go and see the barber. I know I can now, before you all tell me, but I've cut it again, and there's hair everywhere. It's like a hair massacre in my bathroom. It is ridiculous, and it is all over me. Yes, I've had a shower. I'm not a monster, but it still feels like I've got little bits of hair all over me because I cut it like a madman. You don't want to see the back. The back is horrific. I ain't showing you it. Not a change. If you want to see it, you'll have to come over to Twitch. I'll show you it on Twitch. Twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. One night this week, I'll show you the back of my head and what a mess I've made of it. I won't tell you which night, though. Marola has just made it 2 with his 17th goal of the season, coming in off the left wing. And that is some good football from David Marola. And he is going to finish our top scorer this year. even with the return of Damien and losing his starting spot as our striker for half the season, he is showing real grit and character by continuing to, I would argue, continuing to outperform Damien. I think that's why I've been a little bit down on Damien since he's been back, because he's not so obviously better than everyone else anymore, because it's made me realise just how good Marola is. Emanolidis, out wide, can't get the crossing, but Smyrnis is there to back up. Back with Emanolidis, cross, looking for Marola, but can't find him. But Ike is struggling to get it clear here, and Kalapitis does well to win the ball back. And now he's got Duffy inside of him. Duffy floats it forward to Emanolidis, who is in and probably should have scored. We're a little bit unlucky with the way the ball rebounded, because it looked for a second as if it was going to land on Marola's head, but it didn't, and it's gone out for a corner. And it's Kios from the corner, but it goes just over. We have absolutely dominated Ike in this game. They've only managed 3 shots. They've edged possession a little bit, but goodness me, are we doing more with possession than they are. Don't get complacent. Keep doing what you're doing, etc., etc., all that good stuff. This is a very important football match for everyone at Apollon, and that free kick was poor, and their keeper just plucks it out of the sky. It's another sellout here at the Georgios Kamaras. Do not send us to the tiny ground, Mrs Wearmouth. We don't deserve it. We've done enough to deserve to stay in our big ground. Let me know down in the comments what you think is going to happen with the ground situation. Are we going to end up... I mean, I've never been in this situation before in Football Manager, where A, they've tried to move me to a smaller ground than what I'm already in. I've never experienced that. But B, once planning permission has been asked for, are we now committed to that? Or can we back out of it? Can we amend it? Can we get something more suitable? Because I would argue, bearing in mind we so consistently sell this place out now, we should actually be looking to move somewhere bigger. Or if the upkeep on a big ground is what was the problem, maybe not move at all. Just stay here and look to expand. Marola's made it 3-0. What a finish from Marola again. But we can see that we can definitely put at least one more stand in behind the goal. It's only a car park there and some trees. Knock all that down. You could fit another 5,000 people into this ground. I think this side where the camera is as well is only one tier. If we'll appreciate the goal, but when we get back into the next highlight, I want to have a look at it from the data analyst view. But I think this near side, how do we do it? And then zoom out. Because I think this near side is only one tier. Oh, maybe it is a second tier. So maybe it does go all around. But, I mean, if that's 15,000... you fill in those corners, you could make this 20,000 just by making it a complete loop. That's what we should be looking to do. Because it's not as if we're hurting for cash anymore. I don't think that the original reason for getting the new ground was this one was too expensive. The upkeep was too expensive because we had a 15,000 capacity stadium and we were getting 500 fans when we were in League 2, or I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 fans in our first season in Super League 1. But now we're selling it out so often. Let us expand. Let us grow. Let's help grow this football club. We want to be the biggest club in Greece. How big a stadium do Olympiakos play in? We should be looking to get somewhere bigger than that, not smaller than what we've got now. Right. Enough talk about the ground. Barja's just won the ball back beautifully there and finds Damien with the ball forward. Damien holding the ball up nicely, releases it to Barja again. There are so many men charging forward. One of them is Slattery. Slattery's in here, shoots, can't quite force it past the goalkeeper. It falls to Barja again, who's been very bright since he came on. He's done really well there, just battling, and quite rightly, their defender has just panicked and hit it as hard as he could in whatever direction he was facing. Slattery now with the corner, looking for Damien at that far post, and the header is into the hands of the Ike goalkeeper. But it was, I mean, we're playing well. This has been a very, very good performance. More of this, please. Who have we got on the bench who should be coming on? You know what? Mark Tracy can come on. One of our Name in the Game channel members. Hasn't played a lot of football, but is kind of the next on the conveyor belt of young defenders that we've got at the club. He's the same age as Ryan Lawson. He came through the same youth team as him, but obviously has been a little bit outshone by Lawson. But let's play the two of them together for the last 10 minutes. Give Tracy a chance to stake his claim for being third choice centre back next year. We've obviously got Smyrnis who's kind of that at the moment, also kind of our utility right back kind of player. But the thing with Smyrnis is he's 25 and he's never really going to get any better. But with Lawson and Kios and Tracy, they've all got bags of potential. We've got Juan, who's coming back as our right back, who's out on loan at the moment. We're going to bring in a proper left back. We've got Calapitas as the utility man. We could probably let Smyrnis go and up Tracy to sort of reserve centre back if he's good enough. So today can be for the first part of a end of season test to see if Mark Tracy has got what it takes to step up into this first team. But that was an excellent result. More of that, and we're going to get another shot at the Champions League this summer. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.